What's up, guys? This is Garrett.
This is Jabin.
This is Annie.
And welcome to Cross Country Comments. We have another guest on. Super excited. So we have Annie on here, and I will go ahead and let you explain to the people exactly what you do, what you enjoy, and what we're going to be talking about.
Give us the tea.
All right, for sure. So I'm Annie, and I'm actually a Jersey girl, but now I live in San Diego. And I am a health and wellness coach. I help people with their mental and physical health, a lot of mental health, which leads to successful physical health, right? And I'd say I really focus on stress and time management for people. I think it's pretty obvious most people struggle with that. So it's really exciting allowing people to get their shit together and feeling like, okay, cool, I got this. Life isn't as chaotic as I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we were super excited to have her on here just because we may be able to dive into that aspect a little bit, and maybe some, tips and tricks for the people, and stuff like that. But another reason that we brought Annie on is because she told us something when we were talking about maybe having her on the show that we were both like, yes, absolutely. She is a big 90s cartoon person. 90s, 80s, older cartoons that just bring back some form of nostalgia that has just so much weight. And it's so good. So we were super excited to talk about that kind of stuff. So let's get started. Jabin, did you have anything to say before we actually start?
No, disclaimer, you might not like our opinions, so don't come at, don't come at us. Let us know yours, and let's just try to have fun. Let's go.
Hey, let's do it. Okay, so let's start off by just bringing up, okay, let's do this. Let's start off by bringing up the first cartoon that comes to mind as soon, the moment I say it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, Annie, go.
Johnny Bravo.
Ooh.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I have no idea why, but it did.
My girl said.
Yeah.
Baby.
That's me.
Yes. I was like, what's this tagline? That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've only ever seen a couple episodes, but I loved it. So what made you think of that show first?
Honestly, I don't know. That and Dexter's Lab came to mind, but I don't even know if I could tell you anything about Johnny Bravo aside from he hits on women every episode. I'm not even a huge Johnny Bravo fan.
For
real.
real.
When you said it, I was like, the guy in the black shirt with the same hair, big muscles, total beefcake. And then I thought about Dexter's Lab. I love that. I binged that as an adult. That one is so weird.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid, I thought Johnny Bravo was just Elvis in a cartoon.
Dude, me too. No way.
With blonde
I did
hair.
too.
Yeah.
Dude, I am not playing. Dude, me too.
I wonder if a lot of people did. I wonder.
Well, I mean, he had the voice. It was the voice for the most part,
And the charisma.
Hey, baby.
The
Yeah.
charisma.
It was
bro.
partial charisma, partial just being a complete and total douchebag.
Total douche. Total
Ooh.
douche. The big
Ooh.
muscles. Yeah.
It-
I'm trying to think of other things. A lot of women hit them with their purse, I think.
Mhm.
I don't think all the women absolutely loved him.
No, because Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. Were they creeped out? I really don't remember.
I remember one specific episode where he tried to hit on a woman, and now these are two very different things, but I remember one of the two. She either hit him with her purse really hard, or she hit him with a car. I can't quite remember, but I just
A little different.
No.
Just a little bit.
but it makes so much sense if it was the car.
But I just
It might have
remember
been
him.
two- It might have been two different times. Honestly, it might have been two different women.
It's a good point. I just remember him getting up, dusting himself off, and being like, "Maybe next time, baby," and then just walking off.
You know
So-
what?
Johnny testing them females.
He kind of sounds like the Mask, Jim Carrey in the Mask.
Oh, that is my favorite. Oh,
Doesn't
my
it kind of sound like that?
It really
He kind of
does.
does. Now
It
that I
wasn't
think
until
about
you
it.
said it that I realized that's a little.
Oh,
Well, Garrett's a Jim Carrey nut, so he does. Alrighty then. Every
yeah. When I was a little kid, I got all of I based my jokes, my comedy personality around Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. So
Aw.
if you ever see, like, during this talk or anytime, if you see me like making faces or saying something weird, it's probably having to do with that. Like, whenever Jabin says something and it doesn't make any sense, I'll kind of just like, excuse me.
You should see the pictures of our old dance class because
Oh,
I would just like take
gosh.
pictures with people, and then you see him randomly go like this in the back.
It's that
And
one.
it is-
That's from Ace Ventura, though.
No, but still, the fact that you know what you were doing, and this is pre-beard, so it makes it even more fun.
Hey,
It's just him.
Don't talk about my baby face like that.
Dude, I have a worse one than you. If I took off my beard, I'd look like a 10-year-old boy. Come on.
Fair. Okay, we got way off topic there.
I know. I'm sorry. My fault.
Hey, we're having fun. Let's see.
Wait, Garrett. No. First cartoon that goes up. Go.
Looney Tunes.
Okay, why?
When I was a kid, I don't know why, but when I was a kid, I found it. I can't tell you how many times I watched this episode. The Wabbit season, Duck season.
Dude, I know that in the back of my head. I love it.
Like, that whole interaction, I was probably 7, 8 years old, and I just remember like laying on the floor, holding my stomach, laughing so hard. They weren't even my favorite characters from the show, though. Like, I think my favorite character from Looney Tunes is, man, it's a tie between Tweety Bird and Roadrunner. Are probably
Really?
Yeah, I think because
I thought you would like Marv the Martian.
he was cool, but I mean, for me, it was the fact. I mean, Tweety Bird was just sassy as all get out. Probably explains my taste in women, but Roadrunner was like just as sassy with not saying a word, and this is why Flash is my favorite. Speed has always been like a favorite aspect of any character. If they can go fast, I normally like them. And I think that started with Roadrunner. So the comedy in that show, like, there was a lot of, like, you know, childish moments. It was a cartoon, but then there was a lot of moments where if you're an adult, you're like, oh my gosh.
Once you really look back at it, it actually looks way crazier now.
Yeah, you're like, I watched this as a 5-year-old?
Right.
Oh, but I don't know. There's just something super classic about it, and I love it to death. Jabin, first one, go.
Samurai Jack.
Oh,
You're gonna hate me.
No, I'm going to hate you, but let me state my case first. All right. This is the first time you see this kind of artistic style. And this is so inclusive. I didn't think about this, you know, as a kid, but just looking back on it. I noticed what it was, but I never like really delved into this part of Samurai Jack though. It's so inclusive for all cultures that are able to that have like a certain art of a fighting style, and you don't see it throughout the episodes. You only actually see it in one, because when Samurai Jack is a kid, Aku takes out the whole town, and then Samurai Jack's got to train. He goes to Africa, he goes to India, he even goes to Japan. He goes all these countries just to, train to fight Aku. And seeing the different artistic styles for each country and all that is just mind-boggling. Like seeing even in Africa, just straight black people with like round outlines, but it kind of looks like how they look when they would like draw themselves back in the day, like holding tests to like their artistic style. It's same thing for like India, like you see like their little Indian thing going on. So it was so cool seeing them break boundaries art wise, and then the story is just fantastic. I love time travel, so the fact that Aku put him into the future, just automatic like, oh, I like it. And then just the whooshing, 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 like sound effects, iconic. You can't tell me that Samurai Jack isn't in like isn't like one of the tops. And it inspired George Lucas for those same guys to make Star Wars Clone Wars in 2003 with the same exact art style. That's just chef's kiss. That I wish was canon, but it's just amazing. I don't like the new season of Samurai Jack though. Too much blood, too intense. Just because with what I grew up with. But the old seasons, it's so good. Oh my god, I bought the video game. It's amazing.
Okay. You're very
Don't
passionate
ruin
about
this
that.
for me.
I've never seen it.
Oh no, I'm not mad. No. It's okay.
No,
I'm not
Annie's
mad
the
at
one
it.
who's judging me now.
For real though. No, Andy, I'm on your
What?
side. But here's the thing. I've
Yeah.
gotten so used to this dude just not watching something. So
Okay.
I look at this as a win because it's either he doesn't like it or he hasn't watched it. So now he has the opportunity to watch it. Dude, just so you know, very old. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna look old when you see it, but you will appreciate the art style. And oh my god, the voice acting. It's so funny because Samurai Jack barely says anything in his own show. And that's what makes it so great too, is that you barely hear him. So as soon as you hear him say something, you're like, whoa, he actually said something. So I don't know. It's just great. And Aku, I love Aku so much. He's so scary and funny at the same time.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yes.
But
HBO Max.
okay. All right. So let me ask you another question. Annie, I want your take on this. So how, in your opinion, do you think cartoons have either increased or decreased in their quality and their stories and their animation over the last, let's say, 30 years, from like 80s, 90s to right now?
Well, number one, I feel like they're not as original. They're not as it's as if cartoons started off freaking awesome with all these silly storylines, and then have just been kind of like some movies, right? Just
Yeah.
new character names, cut and paste, or they've just gone off the rails. Like, I really like Rick and Morty, so I'm not going to talk shit about it.
Me
but
too.
there are some things that I'm like, were you tripping on mushrooms when you wrote this part? Or like this storyline, or like, I think it's not, I think as it progresses, it's not getting as good as the beginning. That's how I feel about but it's as if they're, and this is other shows, like they're grasping for straws. They're like, okay, let's just go for shock value. Like, it's not really about the storyline now, it's just shock value. Where before there was like stories. And also, I guess now is more PC. Like old school Looney Tunes,
Oh my
they said what
goodness.
they wanted.
Oh
Like
yeah.
old Animaniacs, they said what they
Ooh.
wanted. So seeing these things are like Pinky and the Brain, how they talk to each other.
Mhm.
So I would say that stuff, people weren't like uproared by that. They were just like, this is hilarious. Do you see this shit? Right? And now they're like, you can't say that. Or like,
Yeah.
we're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's almost, and I hate to say this, but like, people are so easily offended these days. I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone has their own opinion, and we're not going to get too controversial here because we're talking about cartoons. But
Hey, they
I mean,
started
it's like back in the day, everyone made fun of everyone. Like, there was no boundaries. There was no one who was like, oh, that hurt. It was just, you say something offensive, that person says something offensive, and then we all laugh about it. And you're right, it has gotten more PC. Because, I mean, if I could talk, that'd be great. The two things, it's gotten more PC. And on top of that, the storylines in every cartoon these days has turned from, you know, even sometimes in Looney Tunes or like Tom and Jerry, stuff like that, where it's like almost it's funny and it's stupid, but it's also sometimes has a lesson in it or has a little bit of a back, you know, hey, you could learn this. These days, it's either pushing an agenda or on the flip side of that, it's just stupid comedy. There is no story, no message, which sometimes can be fun. That can sometimes be fun, but it feels like there's some shows that just like, okay, you know these characters, watch them smack each other over the head with, you know, something. I don't know, just like this stupid stuff where there's no substance to it. It's a show that's made to make money. It's not made to have people enjoy it. It's made to make money. And I think that.
Yeah, I think that's partially why I started Rick and Morty in the first place, like a year and a half ago, because it has this substance to where it kept playing off of existential crises. And I loved that a lot, even though I hate feeling it. I love the way
I love existential crises.
It's great. Empty void. No. So it's got dark. No, but I like how they translated it into their comedy, and it was like a reoccurring theme. But as soon as Rick and Morty started picking up, Annie, correct me if I'm wrong, by like season 4, you can feel it was kind of different. Like as soon they started kind of going a little bit downhill. It's like, oh, okay, where's that, where's that substance? Where's that existential crisis stuff that was fun? And then they kind of just put in random, like it was always random, but at least they kept like a story going to where it was like events happening this, events happening that, events happening this. Now it just feels all over the place. And then they're picking up stuff from season 1, picking up stuff from season 2, just so that they can get people to be like, oh, I remember that. They're already trying to get nostalgia trip after their show just started. But it's like everything is trying to like get money off of you from nostalgia now. Now that everything is so PC, now they're trying to get like the nostalgia part of it and try to make the best out of it. And it's crazy seeing that even new shows are trying to do that off of themselves. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys. So I don't know. It's rough watching cartoons now. And that's another reason why I like Samurai Jack though, because each episode, even though it goes along with the story, it might just have like a couple fun episodes to where even there's a point where Samurai Jack, he wears those like a Chinese shoes that are like just kind of looks like a flip flop, but it's like not. It's like wood at the bottom. He breaks his shoes, so he's got to find new shoes. But it's like a whole episode of him like finding a family. They have shoes for him, but then he's gotta help him out and cut some robots. It's fun, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like so like insanely crazy. But that's one episode that pops in my mind for some reason, just because I enjoyed that episode of just him trying to find a matching shoe. But it's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody's got something to say all of a sudden. And it's like, oh, come on, guys. So I don't know. Can't enjoy it a lot anymore.
Yeah, I think a really good point was brought up also about like there being an agenda. And I won't go too much into it because there's a lot of fucking agendas. But one being political. Like I was super excited when Animaniacs came out with a new season after like a big gap. And after the first episode, I was like, this is all politics. I can't watch this. This isn't what I want to watch. Like, what is going on? So I think that's also something like old school cartoons, they make a joke or two. They even make fun of Hitler, right? But it's like a little sly remark of something stupid that literally like everyone can make fun of their president at one time. Any president, even if people loved that person, of course they're gonna poke fun. But now they do like whole episodes around it, or like all the jokes are about that. And I'm like, dude, the point is to not think of this stuff. Like,
Thank you.
turn on the news then. This is a
Yeah.
cartoon. I'm
Like-
trying to get down with the cartoon.
we just talked about this a few episodes back, that we don't watch what we watch, or we don't play what we play just so that we can get stuff shoved down our throats. If we wanted that, we would go and look somewhere else. Like, thank you for pointing that out. Like, you said it in such a simple way that's like relatable. That's so true. So it's such a weird thing, Garrett. Like, you could agree. This has been a reoccurring theme, like, for a few episodes now, of us trying to like get into the grid of like how we like certain stuff. Like when we talked about, you know, movies, TV shows with Percy, and video games with Jeffrey. Like it's always been like, it's hard to enjoy it now, just because, you know, there's always this twisting agenda that really just tries to slap your face. You know what I mean? You can't just sit down and just sit on the couch, have a soda, and watch cartoons. You know, it's just, you got to get something out of it, whether, you know, you like it or not, and call it a day now.
Yeah, it's like when we were kids, we would go to, I mean, me and Jabin would go to video games, or like, you know, cartoons, stuff like that, to escape, you know, middle school or whatever we were doing at the time. So it's like, okay, now you're going to do remakes of the stuff we loved and we enjoyed. And you're going to make new video games that's a sequel to the one we enjoyed when we were kids. And it brings back a nostalgia factor, which is not a bad thing. It's like, all right, cool. This is something I used to love to do. But the reason we did it was to escape what we were doing, or what was going on,
Exactly.
rather. Not that I'm saying everyone should always escape real life. Don't do that. Deal with your problems. But
we were just depressed teenagers that just wanted something for like 20 minutes, and then we'll go back to our problems. Just
yeah, but it's
We're just emo teens. Like, it's so
Thank
normal
you.
to just be emo and listen to emo music and like have
Right.
Yeah.
no idea how adulthood's gonna rock you.
yeah. So it's almost to the point to where, like, you're bringing out all this stuff and it's like, yeah, I get to experience that again. But you change it so much to just have this undertone. It's either an undertone or it's very much present of like,
Yep.
hey, this story is all about this thing, when the original thing was just to have fun and have a life lesson behind it. Now it's, hey, we think this way and we want to do this. That's not what I want. What I want is to see, you know, Jerry put a bomb up Tom's butt and then run away into his little mouse hole, and then just Tom and Jerry type stuff.
That sounded like some kind of innuendo, but that's true.
That happened in a show. That happened in an episode.
No, I know. It's just the way you said, but the fact that you said mouse hole, I don't know what happened.
Gosh, that's the point.
But no,
He's
I
a
know.
mouse!
I'm an adult now. It's not.
All I'm saying is, right.
So now I'm like, oh, no, but that's such a good point. I actually have an example for you two, both of you guys. How do you feel about the OG, dude? Come on,
I'm
dude.
so sorry, that caught me off guard.
I already messed it up. Don't keep me going.
Okay, go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gave you the virus. The OG, I know everybody in their life has somehow ran into this. The OG Scooby-Doo, all right? I'll start with Annie. Annie, even if you've only like watched one episode or like 2 seconds of it, or if you've watched the whole thing, why does Scooby-Doo interest you? Bars.
I think number one, because my dad loved it. Like, my dad was already down for Scooby-Doo before I feel like us kids were even born. So he had it on. And you just gotta love like mysteries and how they can be solved within one episode. Like, and the dynamic of a talking dog, you're like, I love this. I love that they eat a lot, that's like their character. Like, scared and like to eat. That's cool. Yeah, I was just like, mystery team. This is cool.
Mhm.
Like, there's a smart chick, there's a hot chick, there's a guy who's apparently hot. Like, There's some dopey people. Like, this is fun.
Garrett, why did because I'm not sure because if you were like me because I didn't really grow up with Scooby Doo
I
really
did.
because oh you did okay cool because my dad was a little iffy about it, my mom was like whatever about this one, so but why did Scooby Doo interest you, Bars?
I think because it. Did you just say bars?
Yes, I rhymed. Okay,
It took
it's an
me a quick
accident.
minute. All right.
Yeah.
I loved it because I, as a kid, got scared really easily. So I would watch it, but it would freak me out at certain points. But at the end, you know, it'd be like, oh, it was the fisherman, or it was, you know, the lighthouse keeper, whatever. And it it was a sense of relief almost because it was like, oh no, this big scary monster. And then they were brave or scared enough to actually go after it. And, you know, you have the funny chase scenes with the dopey little music and them going this way. And then, yeah. And I loved that. But there were certain points where the big monster would be like looming over. They would capture it and then unmask it. So as a kid, I was like, oh, okay. So it's not actually as scary as I thought. It actually helped me as a kid not be as scared of certain things because I was a little scaredy cat. But the more I watched that, I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. And then, I mean, you know, as a little 12-year-old or however I was, there was certain scenes with Scooby and Shaggy where I was like, I could eat double that. And it was very relatable. So I liked that feeling of it. And the team dynamic was really good as well. Like Annie was saying, it's different types of characters all around. Even the van was a character. The van had its own character. The Mystery Machine. So that dynamic of all of that working together made the show work for me.
But before I make my little point, I just gotta say that's why I love you, dude. Just because like you always love the dynamic family, you know, like characters and like TV shows or movies or anything like that. That's what mostly like pops out to you. So let me say, awesome man. But
Thanks.
second, all those aspects that you guys love about Scooby Doo so much. I hate that because for me, I just liked it just because it was hilarious, and I like the aspect of the unmasking a lot. I just hate that it's SmackDown. No, not by me. Like Scooby is cool. I just hate that it's SmackDown by someone who just wants to represent more people and then smash it down with Velma.
Velma. I knew that's where you were going. Have you seen?
Yeah. I don't understand.
So,
may you say this again?
So basically, think about why you love Scooby Doo so much, right?
Okay.
Hold that right there. They came out with I guess you can say, a Scooby Doo spinoff, but now it's not the characters that you know, and it follows Velma. Now, the first thing they did to. Oh, I'm so glad you didn't hear about this yet. Oh shoot! You know what? I'll take a good off for this one. This is gonna be good. Okay. So, okay.
Okay.
Now we're getting serious.
Now we're getting serious. We're getting serious. All right. So here's the problem.
All right. Let's freaking hear it.
So
I need my drink
too.
So
the first thing. This is me being unbiased. These are just truths I'm about to tell you, and then we'll say how we feel about it. All right. So here are the facts. I watched like 4 episodes just to see, and I was already suffering in the first 2 seconds of the show. It's so bad. But the first thing that they did, you know who Mindy Kaling is?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's like basically
a comedian, and she had her own show called Mindy.
Yep.
Okay.
So she's Velma now, and she's in charge of the show, Velma. So now Velma is not white. She's like an Asian,
Indian, I think.
Both Indian, Asian like representation. They go weird with it. So now she's brown, basically. So she's brown,
Is this
And
Michael Jackson? What? Why would they just change a race of a
Oh,
person?
he's
But
just
okay.
getting started.
oh no,
Okay,
it
I'm
gets so
sorry.
much worse. No, it gets so much worse. If I hate, let me just say, I hate people when they call me racist for this. I don't like people race swapping when they like try to reboot a show or redo something. Just make something new, and then you can put that color into that character. But whatever,
Thank you.
who cares?
But that's
Who cares?
because all it's doing is saying you're only as good as the white version, essentially. Do you know what I mean? Like, make a new, amazing, original character.
It's like having this, like, the main thing, like, this is the main show, and then they're like, hey, but we're gonna make an upgraded version. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Like,
Right.
we don't want that. We would like something new, like Static Shock or something like that, but whatever. So first of all, they make her brown, but that's not even close to being the worst part. She keeps let me just talk about her character real quick. She's a stuck up person that makes fun of rich white people every 2 seconds, and she has problems of her own, and she kind of like downplays herself, and at the same time she acts like she's the best person like ever on top of it. So yeah, there's that. And then she even made me forget all the characters. So the hot guy, the one that was supposed to be the hot guy,
Fred.
Fred,
I call him the hot guy.
he's a straight up idiot.
What's the joke he always
yeah,
makes?
What?
They
I
always
don't
make fun of
know.
his size. That's
Do
the
they?
constant. That's the constant joke in
yeah,
the show.
yeah. They make fun of his penis size. No, but Mindy Kaling, Velma does constantly. He's a rich white guy and he has smart problems.
Yeah, that's literally the running joke.
Wait, because she
this
saw it, or she's trying to
No.
say like you're
Like,
Napoleon?
he's just a rich
style,
he's a rich
little.
white kid.
so
He's
she
a rich white
assumes.
kid. So obviously rich white kids have small penises. That's a
Can I
thing.
just say this really quick? Now the show's all about race as opposed to being a fun mystery show. What the
Exactly.
It gets even worse.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry because I'm
No,
like,
You're good.
No, you're fine. No. If you see me like irritated about something, it is not directed towards you or Garrett or anyone. It's directed towards the stupidity of the content. Okay, so you're fine, but it's worse. So yeah, so he has this little arc with his dad or whatever because he has daddy issues because of it. And he and the I keep forgetting everyone. Who's the pink dressed skirt
That-
girl?
Elma?
No, that's Daphne.
Yeah, Daphne, the hot one. So Daphne, she keeps pressuring Fred into having sex with her, and Fred's not ready, and she keeps like going, and it's like
And she's straight Asian. They made Daphne Asian.
No, yeah, she's Asian, but she still has that orange hair, so she still looks white for some reason. But they keep like having to reiterate that she's Asian. And no, and one of the first scenes in the show is nudity scenes with Daphne and three of her girlfriends in a school shower, and it's already like that. And it's like what the heck? No, you should look this up. Like, you should actually watch it for yourself and actually see what you think about it. So it's already like that. So and then Shaggy isn't Shaggy anymore. He's straight up black with dreads, almost, with kind of like a haircut that I used to have.
And
his
he's
name's not Shaggy anymore. And wait, go ahead. He's anti what?
I was just gonna say his name is not Shaggy. They created a new character, and he is like, and being anti-drug is great, but he's like, you know how Shaggy was always under the pretense of he's high? Now this new character is like, no, man, I'm totally a vegan and I'm against drugs, and like the complete opposite of how Shaggy used to act. And there's no Scooby in the show.
No, there is. No, dude, there is. I watched it enough to see Scooby. You're going to be so mad about this, okay? You're not ready, okay? Yeah, so Shaggy isn't Shaggy. I forgot that fool's name. He's got a fade or whatever, but he has the same outfit that Shaggy does, so we all know it's Shaggy. So it's already like, okay, whatever. But Shaggy has I'll call it Black Shaggy. Black Shaggy has a crush on Velma, and Velma knows and keeps turning him down, saying, "No, we're just friends. I just see you as a friend." While Velma is saying, "Why don't guys like me? Oh my god!" Like that. Just so you know, this is unbiased. These are facts.
Friend
So
zone.
bad. These are facts. Okay. Now we finally see Scooby. Okay.
After how
First
long?
of all,
After how long?
like 3 episodes, 4 episodes.
Hell,
It,
okay.
it does, but it's so bad. First of all, Scooby is spelled with an I now. I think it's a nickname. And here's the thing. Not a dog, not a male. It is a random black female that's supposed to be a love interest for Shaggy.
I'm out.
What is?
Like,
I can't wrap my head around this.
Oh, and there's so much gore. Like there's this girl that gets killed and then thrown in a trash can, and you see, like it's actually like disgusting. And that's Velma trying to be a detective or whatever. And then but you just see a whole bunch of blood and then people's heads, like at school, getting their head blown off and just a whole hole in their head just bleeding, just straight gore. So that's what it is. Now Felix about it. I don't gotta say nothing.
so, yeah. So that happened. The show.
No. But here's the thing. That's supposed to be Scooby Doo now. So compare your Scooby Doo, what you love so much, and see it get crushed by Mindy Kaling. And guess what? Mindy Kaling tried to defend it so hard that she called everybody a misogynist racist.
If you don't like it, yeah.
Dude, for real. She hated that it got so much backlash. It's actually the most least rated thing, I think, on IMDb. It's so bad.
Yeah, I think the first
so
episode.
bad.
Seasons. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Oh, go ahead.
How many seasons were there?
No, just one. It literally just came out this year.
It has, I
HBO
think,
Max.
I think the whole season has like a 0.9 out of 10.
Search it up. Search it up.
Yeah,
you gotta know.
Let me look real quick.
You gotta know. But this is Scooby Doo today now.
That's
and
butchered.
obviously I can't tell you how much woke a whole bunch of stuff is in there.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I can't
1.3 out of 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were wrong. Okay,
I was.
It's so long. Yeah, see, you need to get it right. They got a 1.3, Garrett. Come on, give him the pride.
I can't wrap my head around this. And see, that's what sucks now because she butchered it. So now everyone's going to talk about the butchered version. This is what they're going to say to it. It's a butchered version of people of color. That's the phrasing they're going to use too. So they're going to make it not that this could have been a beautiful series and just not pretending to be Scooby-Doo and had all these badass characters.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Why can't there be a woman lead with badass things? But now all people are going to think of is that, which is ridiculous because now the show doesn't have its own, which could have been cool had they not tried to compare.
Right.
Exactly.
And then
my
they call
thing
it.
like this.
Yeah, that's so messed up. That's another, and like, I don't know, I probably sound terrible because I am white saying this stuff, but it's because it pisses me off that people are saying don't compare and then they compare. It doesn't make sense. Like instead of saying, oh, that's Annie, they're like, that's the black Annie, because you know how there's two Annies now.
Yeah.
That's not fair because that girl who's in the new Annie worked very hard to be known as a character. She should be known as Annie, not the black Annie. What the f? That's so ridiculous. Like, that's not fair to her.
Not gonna lie, I thought you were talking about yourself for a second, and I got really confused. I was like,
I'm sorry.
You have what?
That's hilarious.
I'm sorry. I know she's not a cartoon. I'm just comparing to something that came to mind because I don't know. I think that's messed up. And then they're like, it's not as good as the original. Yeah, because there's an original. Like, the second one always isn't as good, or it's like rare that it is. I don't know. Like, I think you just made a great point of the idea of start over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's but let me
Start
just say
over.
real quick, just because like let's say there's like a show like this going on, and it might like represent like my skin color or someone else's skin color or whatever. Just because you're a different skin color, including white, it doesn't mean that you don't have common sense. You know what I mean? So never say. So never say that I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this because I'm white. No, say it. You know what I mean? Like you have an opinion and facts towards something, you should be able to let it fly. So let
yeah.
me just say that. Just because you're white, don't let that hold you back from anything, because I hate it when people like pressure like white people in that regard just so that they're like hidden and can't say anything. Because Garrett was like that for a while, and I
For a
don't
little
know, like,
bit.
dude,
Because
it's
here's the thing,
okay.
I grew up in California for 19 years. And so I
Yeah.
grew up around the culture of, oh, I got to be careful what I say. And obviously I was raised, I'm not a racist person. I mean, that's something we say about on this podcast all the time is me and Jabin. I mean, we are from very different walks of life, and no one would think that we are like best friends because just from looking these days. And you know, he's black, I'm white, we have very different backgrounds, but we are each other's best friends. I'm gonna be the best man at his wedding. And I mean, thank you by the way. But
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's to a point to where it's like, okay, there's a certain point where it's like, okay, some jokes maybe go too far, maybe don't make those. That's a little much. But then there's a certain point where it's like, okay, there is logic and fact behind this thing. And just because it has to do with one race or one type of person or one this, one that, doesn't mean you can't have an opinion on it or facts behind whatever you're talking about. Hence the fact of cartoons race swapping, like we were talking about. There's so few original ideas coming out these days. And that's talking about Disney, Nickelodeon, whatever. There's so many, and we talked about this a few episodes ago, there's so many remakes and remasters, and oh, look, we're doing this show again, except so-and-so is now like this. It's almost infuriating, because it's like, how are you going to take something that's so fond to me and change it so drastically just to try and keep it fresh and with the times?
There's something even worse now too.
Oh boy.
Well, not even worse, but still kind of bad. One thing that I grew up with, Transformers, that cartoon was sick. Oh my god, it's old, but it's sick. Me and Dad would just keep going. That same just sound
Whenever they
effect of them
transform.
forming up. Yeah. It's amazing. That's the only reason why I watched the show. It's great. My childhood filled with happiness. Great. They remade the Transformers cartoon show. It's a little different. But now, for some reason, I have a problem with this. Not because of what they're doing. It's just how it's viewed now. They have the first non-binary Transformer. Now let me talk about this real quick.
Why?
Whatever
Okay.
you do, no, yeah. Why? Yo, exactly though. I just want to say this though. Whatever you do with your life, you do with your life. You know what I mean? It's yours. You have the gift of life. Use it as, any way you can, and whatever way you feel fulfilled, do your thing. You feel me? Let me just get that out of the way. I have no problem with anybody. The problem with this is that it's the sexualization. Wow, I can't talk. Sexualization of a TV show now. Why do they have to be non-binary? What is the purpose of them being non-binary? We don't look at Transformers and be like, oh, that's a male, that's a female, whatever. They might have attributes, but that's not what we focus on. We focus on them beating up Decepticons and transforming into cars and riding in the sunset. You know what I mean? Now it's about, what does the non-binary Transformer do now? Why is he so special? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, but the fact that it just delves into the sexualization of a character now. And that's not what kids should be focusing on. That's the thing. We shouldn't be focusing on that. And I'm glad that we didn't. All three of us, were like in that space, thank God. But that's why I'm personally scared for a lot of kids because they're gonna be confused. Because when I was a kid, I was mostly I grew up in a mostly an all female household because my parents got divorced and it just went crazy. And I would, for fun, I would wear dresses and then like put on earrings and put on some high heels. I did look kind of fresh, and a wig. I had my main wig and I was smacking. Okay, let me just say I was smacking.
It's called a weave, Jabin. It's called a weave.
Whatever. I had my weave. It was so good though. But it should have been like a white. You know how like a white girl like brown hair like pixie cut look. That was me. So I had that wig. All right.
I need to see a picture of this now.
Bro, I wish there was. I really wish there was. I'll ask my dad. But no, like, but I did that for fun, and at the moment, I was like, obviously, I was feminine, like just because I was in the environment. But if I would have done that now, people would have already put in my mind, like, oh, you are a woman. You know what I mean? You are a woman at heart, so you should be that. Oh, okay, I'll get it with it. You know what I mean? And they take it so far to where it's like they could have. I don't want to say poison, but it could have made me so confused to where they could have directed me into a wrong way if they showed that as a cartoon for me, as much as I, watched a whole bunch of stuff. So that's what I'm scared about, is that kids kind of get confused and then take it a whole nother way. And just all this shoved in our faces that the parents and like school systems are going to be like, oh no, it's okay, you do your thing. And it's like, I don't know. It's I just don't like it because I kind of look at it as kind of like an infection. And it should be something that you should research on your own later. And if you want to do it, do your thing, It shouldn't be so like in your face so early just because you can't get away from the fact that is basically sexualization. And sexualization of children is just a no-no. Obviously, I hope for a lot of people it's a no-no. Yeah. But that's how I look at it. So when I look at Transformers and then they have a non-binary Transformer, I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like, this is what you're focusing on. So now it's like, can't watch
I couldn't
anything.
agree more.
It's like, come on, bro.
More. They're like, we're all okay. I hope this doesn't get me freaking canceled.
No,
but like,
please say, go.
No, we'll have you back.
We got you.
We love you.
It's this idea of we're all the same. We're all the same. Stop making us. We're all the same. Stop making us different hierarchies. But we're all the same until you want special attention. Then we're not all the same. Then you're the cool new thing. So you can't scream that you want to be the same and equal when you don't want to be equal when it fits for you. And that's with all things. Like, I really feel that, excuse me, about feminism too. I would call myself a feminist. Like, I've worked with hundreds of men and women, but like for my private practice, I market to women. I'm not anti-women, but also I don't think you should fight really hard to be separate and then be like, okay, but we need these special circumstances because we're women. But you just fought to be equal to men. So now you're saying you want to, and this is with all things, like, I guess also with race, like, let's be equal. Let's be freaking equal then. Why does it have to be one or the other or swapping? Like, let's just be awesome on our own terms.
Yeah.
I don't think that's something crazy to like request or think.
Yeah.
It's not. That's the thing. Garrett, you go.
It's like, okay. So I agree. Okay. Like the okay, listen.
Okay.
But it's almost to a point to where if someone were to look at me, it's like, okay, I'm a straight white male. Cool.
Truck driver.
Just because I drove for FedEx for 2 years doesn't give you the right. But
that is unfair. I know you. That's unfair.
But no, they look at me and they're like, all right, straight white male. And there's so many people these days that are like, oh, we want to be equal and we want the same rights and stuff like that, which is awesome. And then there's so many people in that same group. I'm not saying everyone, but so many people with that mindset that would look at me and go, oh, you probably got handed everything in your life and everything was so easy for you. And you're probably just a misogynist and like all these different assumptions.
Because you're white.
Exactly. Because
you're
they're
Chad.
Listen. No.
Fraternity in a Chad and like roofie people often.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
and in reality, I didn't grow up super rich. I worked for everything that I had. I got a job at 17 and then my parents had me start paying bills immediately. Like I worked for everything that I have. Nothing, very, very little was handed to me. Like the basic essentials were handed to me when I was a kid. Outside of that, I've worked my way up to where I am right now. There has been no, oh, you're here because of how you look. Here you go. It's been, all right, stepping stone. Let's keep going. Work hard. Keep it going. Have a good mental attitude. Have a good outlook on things. Be trustworthy. Have a good work ethic. All this stuff plays into where I am right now. But today's culture would look at me and go, oh, you got it because you're white. It just doesn't make any logical sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the reason that's one of the things that just annoys me so much is that fighting for like, equal pay, equal rights, whatever. The thing about it is everyone in today's day and age has the ability to do well for themselves. Everyone may not have the like direct opportunity. Some people are handed some things because of their heritage or whatever. But if you work hard, you have the exact same opportunities as other people. But if you expected stuff to be handed to you, then yeah, you're not going to do all that well because you're not doing what's necessary to do well for yourself.
Yeah, and that's something that like actually it is kind of a cartoon too in the 60s 70s, so I guess I could talk about this. That's why I love Star Trek so much, because I'm a Star Trek nerd, but basically even though it's about a crew and a ship in space, they talk about this constantly. It's even in the 60s where it was like so controversial to talk about this stuff, that in that future, Earth has found out how to make peace. And there's no currency, there's no money, there's no greed. Both men and women in every single race, including alien races, have opportunities on Earth or other Federation planets or whatever like that. And you can be in a place of power, you can do stuff important. So back then, when you saw Captain Kirk answer to his boss in the Federation Council, this admiral, he was a black admiral. So people were going like, "Whoa, that's insane!" You know what I mean? But they didn't push that he was a black admiral. The admiral was just doing his job, like say, "Kirk, you're doing too much. Stop doing that. You can't be reckless or whatever."
doing too much.
Yeah, no, but he was though. But it was cool. And then you had a black female communications officer. She knew stuff, but she was like struggling still. Like you could still see like the humanity in each person. And I love Star Trek Next Generation because they push that even further, with everybody being inclusive. And now we have female admirals actually doing some crazy stuff. And they weren't pushy about it. They just hit it, just said that's the admiral, and you either like her or you don't, just because of different stuff that she does. She was just a cool, awesome character, and it was just cool just because of the inclusivity and how natural it was. That's why I love Star Trek so much, because everybody looks at each other the same, and they're only racist towards like other alien races that are trying to kill them. So it's so great, you know what I mean? Like that's why I watch it. So when I look at that, I'm like, wow. That's how it should be. You know what I mean? Just like everybody doing their own thing, peaceful, no greed. Let's just go up in space and explore. You know what I mean? It's such a simple thing. So every time I get out of that mode of watching Star Trek, I can be like, okay, real world. And all of a sudden I open the news and I'm like, crap. debt ceiling. That's great. You know what I mean? So it's like it just sucks because there's so many extremists on every side, and the I guess I'll say the winning side right now with the extremists, that's what a lot of companies are listening to. So of course it's going to influence our entertainment, such as cartoons, to where they're gonna appease that, let's say, I'm probably being generous, but let's say like that 3% of people that are angry about the world, just so that they don't get quote unquote canceled and like take it down or whatever. Because as soon as one person has a problem, all of a sudden there's 10, all of a sudden there's 50, all of a sudden there's 1,000, 1,000,000. It just goes up, and all of a sudden it's on your Twitter feed. You feel me? So it's like it's very stupid, and I wish that there was a way just to have fun without talking about all this. You know what I mean? Without it being a problem. Like it's okay if you make up your own stuff. Just stop trying to make money off of both the old people that like something and the new people that have a problem with it. And the only thing that they can do, nostalgia, woke, we have Velma. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, but I agree with all that. But let's see. We got a few minutes left. Let's end it off on a bit of a happier note. Let's go.
I want to keep going a few minutes.
And he's got a schedule.
I know.
We're good. I have time. I'm good.
Well, okay. I'll tell you what. We'll end it off unless anyone has something else to talk about that they want to get off their chest.
Annie, guest.
No, I guess you know what else. Oh, go on.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna put
Garrett
in the spotlight. Go ahead, Annie.
Okay.
I'll hear after. I'm confused and concerned.
I guess something that this makes me feel, that makes me think of, I should say, and I am like really clear with my clients and just people in general, of the idea of people are people are people. We all feel the same strong emotions. We all have shame, anger, guilt, happiness, sadness, fear. And the other thing I like to say is like, I hate and love you all equally. I don't care if you're a girl or guy. I can hate or love you. Like it's for so many other reasons than the color of your skin or the sex of who you are. Believe me, I hate you for so many other reasons. Or like I love you for so many other reasons.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah. Just
no, you can't hate me. I'm black. You don't oppress me like that. Don't do that.
Right.
I already went through 400 years of oppression. Don't do that to me. Chill out.
But the other thing is,
even though I'm 21, 400 years.
The other thing is like the needing to explain yourself. Like Garrett had to say, like, you know,
oh my god,
that's fucked up.
Oh my god.
I like have to tell people like I've dated more black guys than white guys, but why should I have to say that?
And the
ridiculous.
fact that I feel the need to vouch for him is even more gross. Like I speak for my community.
But it's like, but how? Do you know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be that way. It should just be like people are people. It's a boyfriend. It's not my black boyfriend. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I don't want to be the white girlfriend. That's crazy.
Oh my god, that's exactly. But that's exactly how that's exact place that they put you. You are the white girlfriend. If I took you out and we just went out to Baskin Robbins or something like that, they'd be like, "Hey, you got yourself a white girl? That's what I'm talking about." Like, come on, no. Like seriously, like that's not what I look for. Now, granted, with Garrett and I joke around, I'm like, hey, but it's so much different when it's actually like people, random people be like, hey, you guys something like that. That's what I'm talking about. It's like it kind of sucks when it's like that too. I don't know. I just don't like the whole race dynamic, and I feel like it got worse for no reason. It's so
just
weird.
To distract us from other messed up things that were going on.
Yeah,
totally.
But it's just a distraction. It's so much worse for no reason. Like obviously racism, horrible thing, went through especially in the 60s and whatever. But it's so weird because at first it was the racist white people were the problem, definitely. but then
Yeah.
all of a sudden
Mhm.
it kind of
We
flipped.
were and stuff.
It kind of flipped, and it said, "Oh, so every white person is a bad guy." And then I was like, "What?" So it makes it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It is so weird because I'm so thankful that I have a father like this. My dad, he showed me the show Roots, and it's basically like
Ooh.
my dad likes to say that it's something that every black family should watch, and he made me watch it when I was like growing into a teenager. It was so funny because he saw my face as soon as I was finished with the show. Amazing show, by the way. Everybody should give it a watch. It's just great entertainment. Um, he saw, I don't know how, but in my face, he automatically saw I didn't like white people anymore. He was like, huh. He was like, Jabin, hold on. And I was like, what? He was like, not all white people are bad. Most of them are good. Okay.
Mm.
But he said, watch out for the McWhiteys. He said, watch out. He said, watch out for the McWhiteys. And I knew exactly what he meant about that. Because he tried to say like McDonald's, unhealthy, something you shouldn't be eating, something that,
Oh.
is gonna hurt you later. So he always said that there's always McWhiteys around that are tarnishing the image of white people. So ever since then, I was like, oh, okay, I'm cool. And I kind of just shrugged it off, and I was like, okay, cool. But I still had white friends, including Garrett.
And
And then,
dude,
but
when we
I
were younger,
soon,
your mom and you, well, no, I don't know if you did, but I was known as Jabin's fat white friend, because I was not the healthiest in high school.
yeah, my mom called him the two things my mom does not like: white people and big people. Is rough, but
I
it's
was
funny though.
both.
but it's funny though because I'm so happy that my mother is like this. This is so crazy. I like that my mother was like that though, because eventually when Garrett and I started hanging out, because I had a different friend, he was white but he was very skinny, Sean, and he treated me. He was such a terrible friend. And as soon as I got Garrett, because Garrett was kind of like our little like group every once in a while. Garrett was that guy that just showed up and was like, hey Garrett, how's it going or
Pretty
whatever.
much.
Garrett was that whatever person in the group. But then as soon as
Yes.
yo, just like no, we can straight honesty up in here. We
So,
do not like sugarcoat nothing,
really,
bro.
really quick backstory. We met in a dance class. So I took 5 years of hip hop when I was in high school. And Jabin is a professional dancer. So I met him there. I didn't have any rhythm. And so I eventually got to be okay. But the best thing that came out of it was the fact that I got a best friend. And it didn't matter that he was black. It didn't matter whatever. We got along with the fact that we both read comics. We both loved country music. Like, it was all along those lines. And the race had nothing to do with it. And it wasn't, oh, look, the little white boy dance. I couldn't. But it was also just like, okay, this is where we met. Now we're best friends. So let's go along with it. And we've been cool ever since then. There was no other factors of, oh, this specific thing is what. No, we're two guys who have the same interests that got along that learned to become best friends. Like, it's that simple. Also, you said you were going to say something that put me on blast, and I really want to hear it now.
I forgot what it was because I still didn't finish my point yet.
Oh, sorry.
Hopefully, I'll find that point. But let me just finish this real quick. I'm glad that my mother was that way because as soon as she saw Garrett and I's relationship building, and she saw how much that Garrett was actually benefiting my life, love you, bro. She never does this. She actually said, how's Garrett doing? I was like, what? He's not fat white boy? What happened? She's like, no, how's Garrett doing? Like, is he good? Like, how's your little friend? And I was like, he's doing good. And then ever since then, and then we got an invitation to his graduation. My mom put it, she never does this. My mom put that picture on her desk in like a cabinet thing. Then every time she goes to that desk, she just saw Garrett, opened it up, looked at the picture, walked out. So right there, I was like, wow, this is crazy because my mom has always been like a little nah with white people, but seeing her actually like look at Garrett that way was huge. I was like, whoa. So that right there like gave me hope. Like, yeah, that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like that's it right there. And I didn't know that until like when I was like 17 or something like that, when I started getting more into like what's going on with race or whatever when I once I moved to LA, because that was a big thing. I started seeing that. I was like, huh, that's insane. So I knew that it's the whole race thing is just stupid. You know what I mean? It's idiotic. It's just stupid and something to put somebody else down. Found it out. Why were you not able to watch SpongeBob? Now your reason why to not being able to watch SpongeBob, my mom had that same reason. I just want you to say yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to watch SpongeBob when I was a kid. I wasn't allowed. So the main reason, there was two. Number one, SpongeBob gave my dad a throbbing headache. Like it would be on in the living room, and just that made him just like there was a few times he walked in the living room when I was a kid, saw it and went nope, and hit the channel button. So my grandpa let us sneak it in when we were at his house. But that was the first reason. The second reason is because it was SpongeBob was stupid, and so was Patrick. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fun, funny show, you know, all this kind of stuff. But he was like, I don't want you to take his mannerisms because you're very imprintable when you're a kid. And stuff like that will shift your perspective of how you should act. And I don't want you acting like that. So those are the two reasons he never let me watch it.
Yeah. My mom was kind of in the same way, but worse. She was like, no. Because here's one thing. She was so scared for me. It's so funny. My mom's so funny. She was scared that eventually I was gonna be like heavily gay. Like heavily. She was afraid just because like I was very feminine and I was growing up in that environment, and she was like, oh my goodness, I need to make a man out of him. How right now? So yeah, how? So SpongeBob was not gonna help. And she was like, because she automatically said I was older. I was like, Mom, why didn't you let me watch SpongeBob? And she said, oh, everyone's gay. I don't want you watching that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
She was so scared though, with the way she just threw it off now that her job's done. Now she's able to be like, oh yeah, no, I didn't want you to watch that gay show. It was too much. Because she started getting into the fact that like Squidward's head was weirdly shaped, and SpongeBob was like eerily around Patrick and Squidward too much.
Squidward did have that nose.
All right. And then Patrick wasn't really like attracted to any women, was a little weird. So she was like peeping all those stuff. She's like, okay. The only straight one here is Krabs. I'm not so sure. So yeah, she was afraid of me just because of that. But my dad, he just loved the jokes. So that's why we watch SpongeBob, and it has a lit playlist.
Fair.
I still listen to
it. So let's get on to the last point here. Yeah. So we're gonna go over our top 3 cartoons of all time. This is of all time. So Jabin, you want to go first, or Annie, or
ladies first?
Unless you need a minute. Probably. I don't know if these are my top, but Rugrats for sure.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe Hey Arnold.
Ooh, I haven't thought about that show.
That as an adult. Yeah, I binged that as an adult. In Rugrats, like it's so fun watching it as an adult. It really is.
Yeah. I had that haircut too.
Gerald? Like Gerald?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, I had that haircut.
He absolutely did.
And I look good too.
I bet. Yeah.
Thanks. Yo, dude, shut up, bro. This poison. Whatever, bro.
Oh, I like the Powerpuff Girls too.
Ooh, good one.
I don't know
Okay.
if it's a fave, but like I like it a lot.
Well, okay. Now I gotta ask, which of the three is your favorite?
Oh, definitely the sassy, angry one.
Oh, the green one?
She's hilarious. Yeah, I love her.
Yes,
I
she's
really
my
like-
favorite too.
Yeah, she's my favorite too.
Bubbles is cute and fun, but like you gotta love a gal that can rage.
Oh, absolutely. Again,
Fact.
I think that's what.
Secretary. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was gonna say I think that's why she was my favorite. We talked about Daffy, or we talked about Tweety Bird already, and why that influenced my taste in women. Anyway, those are all really good. I loved Powerpuff Girls. I mean, I loved that show.
Right.
I love that one. But
I love that soundtrack.
Jamie, you want to go next?
Okay, hold on. I want to see if I can ruin your childhood real quick, Garrett. I'm sorry.
Oh, you better not.
Oh, I got bad news.
What?
Tweety is not a girl.
Did I know this?
Son of
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just
No, but this is that Big Bird thing. They keep changing it.
Oh yeah. Like Tweety was female at one point.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's like they changed it again. So it says Tweety identifies as a male. Even though even though she wears like flowers on her head and constantly and stuff. It's like, oh, my poor little aquarium.
That's exactly what they sound like. He or she.
That one.
Do you guys know the Mandela effect? You know how
Yes.
they like say some of us remember the Bernstein Bears, other like another spelling. Maybe that's one, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can prove it with episodes, but
Right.
the look of Tweety is awfully feminine, and I
Mhm.
believe every kid everywhere thinks she is, or
You
I
can't
mean, when we
have
were little
long
kids-
eyelashes like that.
No, and when we were little kids, all the little girls would run around with like the pink shirts with like the red circles with Tweety Bird, sticking out the middle of it with Looney Tunes
I
written
have
on the
a
bottom.
Tweety Bird shirt.
Yeah.
It's like saying that Taz is a girl.
Yeah,
Bruh, exactly. That's like saying he's a girl. And just so you know, he's my favorite Looney Tune. That's like saying that he's a girl. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I agree. So,
what are they?
Jabin, would you like to go?
I'm
Oh,
not
man,
believing it.
he wrecks everything in sight.
So, would you like to go next?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this one's really hard, and I'm putting some new stuff in here too, just because it's something that I enjoy.
That's fine.
Obviously, you heard me praise Samurai Jack.
Mhm.
You'll always hear me praying about Samurai Jack. Something that I'm so mad is canceled just because it didn't get enough views and money. Tron Uprising. I am a Tron fanatic, so that show just made it even better and just amplified both the first movie and the second movie without even trying. It's just, oh my god, it's just mind-boggling. And seeing the grid. I'm sorry. Okay, and then sorry, when I really talk about something, I just want to go all out. And then this is gonna be a weird one. I grew up with this show a lot, and I love it so much, and I'm mad that we didn't talk about this. This probably has the best soundtrack in any cartoon of all time, and it's probably going to be the best 90s cartoon of all time, and you can't tell me otherwise. X-Men. I'm out.
Oh, okay. I respectfully disagree, but okay. No, I'm just joking.
Man, I want to know. I like to debate.
No, I don't know enough about it. I don't know if I've ever seen it, to be honest. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Let me just tell you, it's even better now that like we're adults looking at it, it's actually way more intense than I thought when I was a kid. But like even the aspects of like what Stanley, how he wrote it, it's perfectly just pasted on screen like what he wanted. Because his main goal was, because at the time when he created the X-Men and mutants or whatever, he hated the way black people were being treated. So he wanted to have a representation of that, of creating mutants and people hating mutants and not understanding mutants, fearing mutants, and seeing how they can be incorporated in society and seeing different points to where people would react. So he what he did was he looked at the real world and he put it on paper and tried to do what it was like and be like, okay, now how do we fix it? And then that's why he was like writing all the X-Men comic books. That's why they're a thing. That's why I love them, just because it was the aspect of like he knew what common sense was, and he did it in such a beautiful way. It was just amazing. And then the mutants are just, bad A. They have awesome powers, so let's just say that. But it's just perfectly pasted on screen. Oh my goodness. And the fact that they're coming out with a new season, I'm kind of scared. But they're coming out with the last season of that show. They're calling it X-Men 97, because that's when they were making the new season, but then they stopped.
Ooh.
So now they're coming out with the 97 season now. So I'm scared and hyped for it at the same time. I'm so hyped. I'm hyped just because it's X-Men, and I'm scared because it's 2023.
True.
So everything we talked about, it's a fear. But yeah, Samurai Jack, Tron Uprising, X-Men. Don't touch me.
So let's see. If I had to pick 3, I would go Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry, I would watch reruns consistently. Except for the episode where Tom went to heaven. That scared me. When I was a kid.
All the heaven, all the like that like concept scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like
it was
the contents and the heaven and hell thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Let's see. I would say okay. So this is early to mid 2000s one. Okay. And I may have snuck this one because I wasn't allowed to watch anything with like too many ghosts or like magical power or anything. But Danny Phantom.
Dude, I wasn't allowed to watch that either, and I love that show.
Yeah.
I love that show. But it's not my number one. My number one is the original Teen Titans.
No, good answer. Good answer. If
are we on Family Feud?
Talking about TV shows.
Good answer.
Good answer. Teen Titans. No, but it's so funny because we have to put like at least like one little nerd thing in there. Oh, it's so funny.
But oh man, just the way that show. I mean, we all had a crush on Starfire when we were kids. Let's be honest. But
I'm not gonna lie. I actually thought Raven was a little hotter when I was little.
No.
I kind of like that emo.
When we were younger, it was Starfire. The older we got, the more we liked Raven.
The younger for me was Raven, and then the older I was like, wait, Starfire got them legs though.
Little pervert.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm just saying.
It was swapped for me. And at first I was like Starfire, and then when I got older I was like, why is Raven becoming more attractive? That's not allowed.
It's because you're turning more into Beast Boy. That's what it is. Your personality.
Wait, do you guys remember Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
Oh yes! My gosh, yes.
Oh my god.
I like that one.
Oh,
that hurt my brain.
Gosh,
I like that one. You guys might be too young, but do you remember As Told by Ginger?
Yes.
No.
Okay, the only reason why is because of my dad. So he would bring all these just cartoons and just put them on the TV. Yes. I watched a little bit of it though. But yeah, I've watched that one. I like that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was
yeah.
It was And what about Recess?
Oh yeah,
Who
absolutely.
hasn't watched Recess?
I loved
Yeah,
Recess.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some cred now.
Wait. There's one cartoon we didn't talk about that you wanted to dissect, Garrett. The one
Winnie the Pooh and how messed up it is.
That's a fact.
I mean, Caillou's messed up too.
That's
was
also
kinda
a
sad.
fact.
But, bruh,
Don't even get
I
me
was so
freaking
mad.
started.
I was so mad that all this stuff is like in like one day.
What?
What is he in?
Huh?
What?
He's so
No,
happy.
all this stuff. It was a bad joke. I should have said it. Yeah, all that stuff that was happening to him, it was in a short amount of time because he has cancer and he's gonna die.
He's talking about Caillou.
So that's why, yes, that's why I said like, it sucks as soon as I realized
Wait,
all
that's
this
the
stuff
truth?
is. Yeah, Caillou is a cancer patient and he only has so much longer to live, and that's why he's doing all the stuff that he wanted to do because he's going to die. So that's why I made the bad joke of saying it sucks that all this is happening in a day.
I had no idea. I just thought it was a show that sucked. And now that I
Same.
know it from that point of view.
Well,
No,
it looks like
it's very dark.
Annie's gonna be binging Caillou after this.
Now I'm
Uh,
upset. Now I'm really upset.
And what's nice is that I would watch Caillou because at the time cable was like, Caillou would come up and me and my little sister would watch Caillou, be like, oh, that's fine, not knowing that he was a cancer patient about to die in like 2 minutes. And so it's like, it's actually, that's why he's bald. That's why he's, running around usually by himself, because this actually might be his imagination, to be honest. So I don't know. He's a dead kid.
We may as well turn this into one of those lists on YouTube. Top 10 times Cartoon Network made a show dark.
Right. No, but
Yes.
I was thinking of the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, Courage.
Courage.
Yes.
I had a love-hate relationship with that show. I loved it because it was so entertaining. It was one of those things where I'd watch it and I regretted watching it, but then afterwards I'd want to go watch it again. There's a few episodes I can specifically remember that like imprinted how terrifying they were into my brain. Oh jeez.
That show made me feel very uneasy. And the only reason why I could say that I could enjoy it is literally only this reason. SpongeBob stole all the songs from that show.
Oh.
And I just liked hearing the familiarity of SpongeBob in the No, trust me. In like weird things that like Coward's doing, like running around or something like that, that's all the SpongeBob music that SpongeBob took from Coward.
His name is Courage.
Courage, sorry, from Courage.
He's a little cowardly, but he's still Courage.
They said that they think what that show may have been like about is that they did live in the middle of nowhere, so everything was scary to Courage. Everything from a dog's point of view was terrifying, not so much that it was happening. But I mean, some of those characters are just like Miriam. Is it Miriam was the wife?
Yeah.
And what was the other guy's name? Oh,
I can't remember.
It was like an old school name too.
It was like Bartholomew or something. Let me see.
But do you remember when he would like freak out and everything, like his animation would be like so exaggerated?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Like that.
That's one thing I love about that. The animation was just
Eustace.
So like
cute. Yes.
Okay, there it is.
Or just like Ed, and Eddie, the stupidity of it all. Like that made no sense.
No.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
None of those.
I love the simplicity of that animation though, of Ed and Eddie. I love that simplicity of that art style.
Yeah, no, oh man, I miss that kind of thing. But I think that about wraps it up. Unless you guys have anything else,
We're over.
we're a bit over.
Yeah.
Well, we
But
had a lot to talk about. Like,
we did. I'm not even mad about it in the slightest.
Me neither. I could go for 3 more hours, but we're not going to. Okay.
That would take a solid 2 days to upload to YouTube.
I know. Facts.
But I think that's going to be it for this time. So thank you everyone so much for watching and or listening. We have more listeners than we do watchers. So thank you everyone so much. Annie, I'll let you go ahead and kind of plug, your resources and stuff like that. I'll put them in the description, but I'll let you describe them real quick.
okay, sure. I can't really remember which ones we talked about, but I do have a free over 100-page wellness manual that I think is really fun for like a 360 view of your life. And I also don't remember if I told you this, but I have a book that might be cool. It's called Shit I Wish I Knew in High School, and it's just like
oh, I love that.
It's really cool. It's really funny. Of course I'm going to say this because I wrote it, but some personal stories, blowing up some people's spots. Like I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and do you want me to link your website or?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you guys want to, I'll try and do it on Spotify and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I can do links there, but it will definitely be
YouTube.
Yes, it will definitely be on the YouTube video down in the description. So guys, please, and I will say once again, please go check out Annie's resources. She's great, as you guys have seen over the last hour and 26 minutes. We've been having a great time. I mean, before this, we only had like a 10-minute conversation with Annie over the phone, and such an incredible guest. Thank you so much for coming on. We very much appreciate it, but I think that's gonna be.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. So I think that's gonna be it for this time. Jabin, any final words before we go?
Just thank you for everybody who's listening and watching. Please, everyone who is listening, go check out the YouTube channel too, because showing your support on there makes it even so much better. And plus seeing it visually is way more entertaining because I make stupid faces. Garrett makes stupid faces. Everybody makes stupid faces. It's pretty great. Yeah, and let's keep this going. And I just want to let everyone know who's listening and everything like that. This is a place where we want to build everyone up. Every one of our guests, we only get guests that only amplify other people and stuff like that. So please check out her book. I'm gonna check out her book. That sounds kind of tight. So I'm about to read the book. So please check out her book. Yeah, and again, thank you for actually still keep on listening. It's kind of crazy knowing that there's still people listening. I'm still getting used to that.
And I will say, just lastly, real quick. Me and Jabin have had stuff going on in our personal lives just that have kept us going pretty nonstop recently. So we haven't been as constant as far as once a week with uploads, but that will be changing here in a second. We now have a few episodes recorded, so we will be posting every week. That is not going to stop. So we appreciate your guys' patience with our upload schedule, but yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So thank you guys.
And I'm gonna be in a new background.
Yes.
By like 2 more episodes. So yeah, so
Jabin's moving.
Get ready for that. Yep, I'm moving.
But that is gonna be great. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see all of you next time. Bye guys.
Bye.